Here we go. So Devon, we usually do these in the bunker.
Yeah.
Back at
Yeah.
Armwrestling HQ.
That's right.
But we're going to jump into some rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
Hook top row press.
Top row.
Flop wrist king's move.
King's move.
Strap no strap.
Strap.
Leg days.
I like
How many years has it been?
No.
Tournaments or super matches?
For fun, tournament, but it's all about super matches.
Favourite arm wrestler?
Auden Larratt.
Nice answer. Least favourite arm wrestler?
Dennis Tsvetkov.
Proudest arm wrestling moment? There's been a lot of them.
2 days ago was not too bad.
Yeah.
That was a pretty high point. But I always liked my match with Ron Bath at Michael Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big one for me.
It is a classic match. And if you haven't, go and find it. It's on the internet. It's amazing. Short-term and long-term goals now. Do you have any goals left?
Yeah, for sure. I really just, for me, well, I'm kind of crazy sometimes, I still hold on to that. I think I can maybe do it still,
Yeah?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, you're doing it, man.
I know.
It's not that
sometimes I think that, you look at that number, 48, and you think, well, I don't know, what does that number mean? But I'm still taking steps forward. Yeah. I am. I think it's evident. And, life is, I'm an arm wrestler.
Yeah.
It's what I'll be known for. Among maybe a couple other things to a select group of people, but for the greater population, I'll be known as an arm wrestler. So this is kind of my contribution. And I do still love it.
Yeah.
I love the process. I love the learning that happens at the level that I'm at. It takes a long time for me to uncover these lessons, and I have to do the testing over long periods of time. But with my knowledge, my tests become more accurate, more controlled, and I still think I can take steps forward, which makes me believe that it's possible.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say short-term Dennis, long-term Levin?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Right now, I'm kind of in an interim position where somehow fate in its scrambled egg scenario has made me be in this discussion at the number one spot in the super heavy. I
actually think people are disillusioned of how that match actually went.
Yeah,
over in Dubai.
Yeah.
It was close.
Well, that's the thing. I got an injury.
Yeah.
I got an injury, and interesting match. And perhaps the story is not completely over. Levon is the pinnacle that we have in the sport, and he will return. And if things go well, maybe I will try again. Yeah. I'd like to expand my range. I feel that I can strike at 115 kilo any day.
Yeah.
Any day. I also feel I can strike at 231, so 105 kilo. I think I can without any serious difficulty. So if I could have this,
so Ongabayev's also in that mix of
100%.
Yeah.
So if I could have belts off of Ongabayev, guys like Vovoda, Matyushenko at 115, and then Vitaly, Dennis, Levon, and live here for a bit longer. But I'm still having fun because I feel like I'm learning things, and that the tests are coming back positive. So yeah, we'll see.
Nice. So much for the rapid fire quiz. Anyway, trash talk or sportsmanship?
Oh well, trash talk with the underbelly of sportsmanship.
Yeah, you saved the sportsmanship for dessert.
It's
definitely second on your list. Are you testing, when you go to the table, are you testing yourself or are you fighting your opponent?
I think that when I come to the table, I'm fighting my opponent. I test myself in the weeks and months leading up to it.
Okay. Yeah. Has that always been the case throughout your career? As a younger athlete, as you were probably progressing your abilities quicker, do you think it was probably more testing yourself back then, or have you always just been looking for the fight?
I think I've always been a fighter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to fight, yeah.
Strength, speed, technique, stamina, rank them.
We'll go, I think it all starts with technique, because if technique is misplaced, you're just inaccurate and you're not going to be optimizing anything. So I think that the first thing that you need to really have a grasp on is your technique. And that's why I would say arm wrestle when you're a kid, arm wrestle when you're weak, arm wrestle when you're injured, so that your technique will just become super optimized. And then from there, it is a lifelong pursuit of strength. You will understand the technique and get stronger in these base motions. Okay, strength is the deciding factor, but without the understanding, it can be meaningless. Power is always your final piece. You know, strength takes forever to build. Strength takes decades and decades and decades.
And there's no real ceiling.
No, you just keep on building strength all the time. You build strength. Power is...
But power is more of a combination of strength and speed.
That's right. Yeah, speed. When I think speed, I think power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so power is the thing, that's always the final block I do. I do power when I can't do speed. I do power when I can't do strength for whatever injury reason or if I'm burned out. But I always do power as my final block before I compete. And then stamina at the end.
Yeah, you think stamina is least important?
Least important.
Yeah. If you can master all the rest. So let's rate yourself then. Strength, speed, stamina. Well, actually, I just wanted to go back on when you were talking earlier on with Neil and Auden. And Auden was saying like he's gone hard for the first time for a year and hasn't experienced those newbie pains. But surely that's just because he's been arm wrestling since he was this big.
It is.
That's got to be the only real reason.
100%. Yeah. He's been arm wrestling since he was a baby. Like, I mean, you can type in Auden Larratt on the internet. And I mean, depending on what comes up in your searches, I mean, you're going to see him competing from a very, very early age.
Yeah.
And he's always had great technique. So when you have good technique, you're less likely to get hurt as well. Yeah, I mean, Auden's on his way. Crazy to see, crazy to watch. I mean, he trains the same way I do.
Yeah.
He does. I mean,
like a lunatic.
He
3-4 times a day.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, long sessions.
Yeah.
We'll get on to Auden shortly. Let's finish off this little rapid fire. So now rate yourself of your strength, your speed, technique, your stamina.
So I think probably my greatest strength is my technique. I believe that to be true. So that's number one.
So out of 10.
Oh, my technique, it's very high. I'd probably give myself a 9 or a 9.5. You know, we always have room to grow for sure, and I know that I continue to grow. So I think a good 9.5 is probably where I'm at. Strength is something that I work on relentlessly, and I'd say it's probably my next best. Well, it's not my next best attribute, but it's the one I put the most in. So I'd say probably a good 8 to 9, 8.5 maybe. Yeah. Speed is a weird one for
left
me.
or right? Yeah. left, fastest man in the world. Yeah.
Right. So I'll tell you, I start to speed up once the guy gets tired. So at the 800-meter mark, I'm super fast. You know, but that 0 to 60, it's not my gift. I would say that my speed is more like a 7.5 to an 8.25. It's not super elite.
Is that on your right?
That's on my right. My left has definitely got more twitch. My left has got maybe a 9 on speed. Okay. But it definitely it's so crazy. Like as a 30-year arm wrestler, I feel like I'm really starting to get accurate on being able to train my speed.
Yeah.
You know, which is so weird. Like at 45, I'm probably getting faster. 48, like I'm probably getting faster than when I was younger because I'm really training it smarter.
Yeah. But is that not also because the movements themselves are so ingrained?
Yeah.
There's not a thought there. It's just, okay, how can I apply the power quicker?
Well, a lot of it is just the accuracy in training. And I don't know why. I mean, now what seems so simple and easy to understand, you know, as a younger athlete, I just wasn't hitting accurately. I wasn't training for it quite properly. But now I feel like my training is so accurate that I'm able to progress it much better. Yeah. And then endurance.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty good there. So I'd say probably in the high 9s, probably in the 97, 98, maybe even 99 percentile. Like there's I don't know. I mean, I think I've just put so much work in. Like every single day of my life I train. Every single day of my life I do rehab, blood flow maintenance, you know, and this is endurance. You know, I right-handed, I can't.
Regardless of whether you're on the road or
it's
home.
It's funny to me, right? I carry my bands with me. I'm training in the airport. It's funny to me, you know, I'll go to a practice and the guy will be like, yeah, I'm a bit tired today. I worked biceps on Tuesday and it's Thursday. And I'm like, dude, this is my 4th workout today. Like, you know, I have, that is my gift.
Yeah.
If I have a gift, that's it.
And I think it was interesting when we were talking, well, when you guys were talking earlier on, and you were saying about you don't think it's necessarily a gift. You've trained your body to be able to handle that.
Gifts are hard to understand sometimes. Like, it's not that I was born with incredible amounts of endurance, but perhaps I was born with a certain work capacity or a mental ability to persevere, which then led to, you know, the expression of endurance, you know. So it is my gift. It's just, how did I get it? Yeah.
So the gift might be more indirectly just a willingness to just keep going and going and going and push your body to the absolute
perseverance, perhaps.
Over and over.
Yeah.
Georgi Tsvetkov.
Yeah.
This guy. What do we know about him?
Well, Bulgarian, lots of table time. Incredible top roller.
Never been top rolled?
Never been top rolled. That's quite a juicy little peach, isn't it? Always love to hear about a guy who's never been something. Yeah, I'll definitely try and top roll him.
Yeah.
100% try and top roll him.
Let's talk a little bit about Hermes.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, they were surprised.
Yeah. Myself included.
Yeah. I didn't find it that surprising, if I'm honest. Because, you know, losses to people like Kadetcha, people with long limbs, you know, and as long as you, and I'd say you were a far better arm wrestler than Kadetcha. Similar length levers.
He's bigger than me, but yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, but still, as long as we're both bigger than Hermes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What do you think won it for you? Do you think you broke his mind through the week? Because I noticed you never left his side.
Yeah, surprisingly, I think that's how it ended up playing out.
You think?
Yeah, surprisingly, I do think I got to him. I really do. The constant, you know, this way, that way, when I felt that his ego was overinflated, I would try and feed it even more. So that would kind of, I feel like he started to become unsure about what the scenario actually was. You know, I planted seeds of doubt in the setup, many seeds of doubt, many things that potentially could cause him embarrassment, many seeds that would affect the way that he spoke and acted, not only in the match, potentially in front of his fans and his family. And my posture, when it changed, I noticed that his changed as well. It wasn't until like the day before, a couple days before, that I actually started to perceive that there was a mental weakening going on. I didn't think it would happen.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that he would be mentally very, very resilient through the whole thing, but I started to perceive...
What if a duck's back, he'd just be like, okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
But I started to perceive him becoming affected. I think it was actually the night before. Yeah, it was the night before that it finally started to get to him. And then the actual day of the event, it was very noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Hey, you know, people talk about the mind. I used to think it was mostly, you know, for fun, for show, but you can affect people.
Yeah.
You absolutely can.
In what way do you think it affected him on the table in the setup? Do you think it was just a distraction from what you was doing and getting you know, making sure you got everything you wanted, and for him to try and get everything that he wanted? I mean, he was doing some things that were a bit like, you just can't do that, Hermes. You can't try and affect the referee's grip and stuff. And
there is some very subtle areas in arm wrestling, some very gray areas, depending on. Well, I'll talk about a relationship in arm wrestling, and a relationship between arm wrestlers and the referee. That's very interesting. So there are different types of people. Some people are fast, and some people are slow. And when it comes to arm wrestling, those that are fast want to maximize that capability against their opponent. And those that are slow want to maximize that capability. Now, in Hermes and my perceived relation, it would be perceived that I was slow and he was fast. So typically, what the slower athlete wants is attrition. So basically, I have a gas tank, and you have a gas tank. And you have an engine, and I have an engine. And the fast guy has a bigger, stronger engine. However, the gas tank to feed that engine isn't as good. Okay, so basically what the guy who's slower, more gas tank, smaller engine wants to do is trade. Every time we can start up our vehicle, every time we can take it for a test run down the track, we want to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, the more we can do this, the better, the more chance you run out of gas. And then only one car is driving. Now, what the struggle is in the set. Now, in arm wrestling, so much happens before they say go. And people talk about the job of the referee. The job of the referee is to start a fair match. A fair match is center of the table, thumb knuckles showing, wrists straight, shoulder square. That's it. Now, the thing is, when you even say that, there are small differences. So my thumb knuckle is showing, my thumb knuckle is showing, my thumb knuckle is showing.
Yeah.
Okay, my wrist is straight, my wrist is straight. Like there's little bits where even though, yes, the rules are being followed, one guy starts to have a small, subtle advantage. And the one that's willing to fight will have that advantage.
Yeah.
Right. Now, it's interesting that if you are not willing to fight, so you're going to go into the match slightly disadvantaged.
Yeah.
And you're not willing to fight because you're scared of that gas tank. Right? You're scared of that gas tank. You're scared of starting up that engine and doing that whole process. Now, it's well known that I will fight as long as you want. I will fight for what's fair. I'll fight for what's fair and maybe a hair, right? So Hermes became unsettled with two things. The first one was he believed that he couldn't fight with me. He believed that he would not favorably want to stand and fight with me in the set.
Well, he did say that he would happily walk away and lose the match if it wasn't fair.
And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
Right? Because he felt
But as opposed to walking away, his heart.
Well, the thing is he never felt like, with the subtle advantages that I was able to potentially have, or the grip that I was potentially able to negotiate, he did not feel he was in a position to move successfully from there. So that's kind of the interesting, place that we got to. That's why I put so much, pressure on him for the setup. And yeah, that's where the match was won. It was everything was won in the setup. His not willingness to fight with me to minimize my advantage, and his inability to successfully negotiate with his words to get the referee to put me in some kind of a weird position. Yeah.
You had some relatively first starts.
Listen, I was stronger than him anyways.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. It didn't matter what star we would have had. I can win that match every day, no problem. I know now that I've pulled him, he has some work to do. I know that. Lots of respect to Hermes. He's incredible. It's just the matchup right now. I'm gonna take his wrist every time. Yeah.
Mate, thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
And we'll catch up with you again.
Yeah.
Through the week.